Please, let's be seated. It is a great privilege here this morning to introduce our members of management and also our guests that are seated here this morning. Leading the team seated today is the Registrar, Landmark University. The Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, Professor Adeniyi Olanyoju. Please put your hands together. Also, we have the Registrar, Miss Fola Oyiloye. It's a privilege to have you around here, ma. Each time we organize program, she's always present to give us encouragement. We really appreciate your kind gesture and support, ma'am. Also seated here today is the Director of Financial Services, Mr. Fadoju. You're welcome, sir. Is also a pastor. So we just use that as official. Then also we have seated here today the Dean, College of Postgraduate Studies, Professor Charity Aremu. You're welcome, ma. Also seated here today is the Dean, College of Business and Social Sciences, Dr. Ashamu. You're welcome, sir. I have been reliably informed here that representing the Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, is the Director Lucrate. That is Professor Adebeshu. You're welcome, sir. We appreciate your support, sir. Each time we present our programs, we always see quick approval. We don't take this for granted, sir. Thank you very much. Then we have the anchor for Center for Learning Resources. It's my boss at work. I won't say it's our boss at work because it's not our department now. It's the school that is gathered here. But it's Mr. Regbe Shola's boss and my boss. We want to introduce Dr. Idegbeyen Ose Jerome. Put your hands together for him. It's a man that celebrates ideas. Each time anything is presented, he pushes it with his vigor. We want to say thank you very much, sir. Also seated in the congregation at the back there, I can see Dr. Adebayo. Thank you very much, ma, for coming. Also from the postgraduate school, we appreciate your presence, ma. We say thank you very much. We shall be introducing also our guests from the schools that have been invited. We have the St. Paul's School 1. Let's put our hands together for the students and the teachers. Please rise up for recognition. St. Paul's School 1, rise up for recognition. Thank you very much. Then also we have St. Paul's School 2. Please put your hands together for them as they rise up for recognition. Then also seated here this morning is Oasis Nursery and Primary School. Please put your hands together as a stand up for recognition. We appreciate your presence. And also, we have 7-Day Adventist Primary School. Put your hands together for them. Last but not the least, we have Landmark University Nursery and Primary School. Put your hands together for them, the teacher and the head teacher. You're welcome. We appreciate your coming. The Lord bless you. Still on this program, we shall be inviting members of management, Landmark University, But before then, I'll be inviting the Director Center for Learning Resources for an exposition about this program today. Let's welcome our Director, Center for Learning Resources, Dr. Jerome Idegbenyose. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Owolabi. We have a boss that is here this morning. Like you have rightly said, this is university program. I will have the VC be ably represented here at the registrar. Let's put our hands together for them. The Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. We want to appreciate God this morning for gathering us together for this program. As we can see, the program today is Word Read Aloud Day. Word Read Aloud Day, and also celebration of our mother in the Lord, Pastor Mrs. Faith Oyedepo. Word Read Aloud Day is a day set aside worldwide. As we are gathered here today, is celebrating all over the world Read Aloud Day. Every first week in the month of February, every year. Last year, we celebrated this program. We went out to visit two schools, St. Paul and Ikpetu Primary School last year for the same program. This year, we look at it that we need to also change our approach. And that is why we called these schools that we should be here this morning. Now, looking at this program, Read Aloud Day. If we look at our Sustainable Development goal number 1 is eradication of poverty and advocacy. And we know, and at the same time, goal number 4 is quality education. Eradication of poverty and quality education. Read Aloud Day is talking about how to improve the literacy of our people. Improve the literacy. And once you are able to improve the literacy, then poverty will be eradicated. Poverty will be eradicated. One major tool that will help to eradicate poverty is education. Education helps to eradicate poverty. And that is why we are here this morning with this program, Read Aloud Day. Let's encourage our system. Let's encourage the pupils here. And let's encourage them. Let's encourage even our children at home to read. And once you read, it's empowerment. You empower that person. I see us be empowered in Jesus' name. I thank you and God bless you. Amen.
Thank you very much, sir. The Vice Chancellor, sir, we shall be welcoming remarks, and I'll be calling, with the permission of the Vice Chancellor, the Director of Financial Services for his remarks. Please put your hands together as we invite the Director of Financial Services. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Permit me to stand on already established protocol. I want to first congratulate the library team, the DCLR and his team, for making this event, to hold today. And children, let me start by saying congratulations to the teachers that actually brought the children here. So the children, I want you to just give a round of applause to your teachers, because without them, you won't be here today. Without them, you won't be here today. So we want to say well done, and we pray that God will bless every one of you in Jesus' name. You are welcome to Landmark University. And for the students, it has been said that readers are leaders. Readers are leaders. So, when you are trained to read, what you are simply doing is you are being trained to become a leader. But don't just stop at reading. So my charge for you this morning is, as you train yourself to read, then prepare yourself to write as well. Because if some person is not right, there won't be anything for you to read. Do you understand what I'm saying this morning? And I see God take you there. Now, the Bible talking in Daniel chapter 9 verse 2 tells us that I, Daniel, understood by books. So that means understanding comes by reading. Understanding comes from books. So I pray that as you engage in this program, and even after today, your understanding will be enlightened in the name of Jesus. So congratulations, and once again, welcome to Landmark University. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, let's put our hands together more and more for him. Thank you very much, sir. It's also my privilege this morning to welcome our own registrar, Landmark University, Miss Fola Oyiloye. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, DME, the library boy. This morning, I'd like to start by recognizing the Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, Professor Adeni Olayanju, who is unavoidably absent, but ably represented this morning by Professor Olufemi Adebesi. Vice Chancellor, sir, kindly permit me to stand on the already established protocol. I would also like to congratulate the director, CLR, for the level of innovativeness that we see from your directorate all the time, your center all the time. It was just last week that we were here because it brought in some persons to train the faculty and staff of Landmark University. And today, it's Read Aloud Day. It is possible for him to have just allowed the day to pass without us marking it. But he has thought it necessary to put this together. Thank you so much, sir, for taking thought to do this. My coming here will be incomplete this morning if I do not join the saints, the host of saints across the globe, whose lives are mother in the faith, Pastor Faith Oyedepo, has touched, to celebrate her. And so I stand here this morning also on behalf of the Landmark University community to celebrate our mother in the faith, Pastor Faith Oyedepo, whose 62nd birthday it is today. A woman of great impact and influence who has incredibly touched many lives. And I pray, as I know that many of us who call her mother will be praying today, that God grants her many more years in health, in strength, in vitality, touching lives and affecting destinies in the name of Jesus Christ. Each time we read, we are opened up to an opportunity to learn. Now to you children, anytime you take up a book to read, you open up yourself to an opportunity to learn something new. And the more you know, the better you become. The more you know, the more confident you are. The more you know, the more impact and influence you wield, because you'll be able to impact other people. I'm so glad that we are taking this program from the roots. Because we could have as well called on university students to come and read. But they're in the university because they can read, and we know that they can read. They won't be in the university if they cannot read. But we are tackling the issue of literacy, or illiteracy as the case may be, from the very roots. And for as many of you that are here this morning, I'm sure that you are the readers in your school. Since it is a competition, I'm sure that your school selected the best amongst you. I want you to continue to groom yourself, to build yourself up, even without a competition, to train yourself so that you can grow to become better people as you read and increase in knowledge. And then you become, as you grow in the future, men and women of impact. Looking at all of you this morning, I simply remember myself. Because as a child, I was involved in competitions like this. English had been my best subject since I was a little girl. And I will wait for the resumption of every term when we'll be told to write how we spent our last holiday. I'm always looking forward to the next book to read. By the grace of God, I used to come either first, second, or third as a little girl. And my parents will ask me, what do you want? I always ask them for books. You know, thinking back now, I wonder, why was I not asking for dolls? As young as, I think, 8 years old or 9, I had one big encyclopedia of animals and plants. Of animals and plants. And so reading is good. And that took me, even up until now, every day, I'm craving for knowledge. When I'm on the internet, I'm looking for new things to learn. Because you can only be relevant wherever you find yourself by knowledge. And knowledge comes, amongst other ways, through reading. So if you're here today, I know you are readers, and I want to encourage you to continue to read. In most cases, people who read also write, just like he said. To the glory of God, I've been able to write one book, and I'm going to write more. So you see, there are a lot of things. If it is the field of sciences you want to go into, the more you read, the more you know, and the chances are that you will invent something in the future. By the time you put the knowledge of different people together, your name will also be ringing, and you become men and women of global relevance. So I want to admonish you today. Even though it's a competition, just relax. Enjoy yourselves. But make up your mind from now that even though you have been reading before now, you will read more and more after now, so that you can be better people, impactful people, and influencers in your own generations. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor Landmark University, I want to welcome you to this beautiful program, and I am sure that you will have a good time. I know that the ME is waiting to do the next assignment, but I don't allow people to do that assignment for me. I always do the assignment myself. And so this morning, I want us to all rise as we put our hands together and welcome to the podium Professor Olufemi Adebesin, representing the Vice Chancellor, Landmark University. The Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you, Ma. May we be seated? Thank you, sir. The Registrar, Director of Financial Services, the Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies, the Dean, College of Business and Social Management Sciences, as well as, let me call him host, the Director, Center for Learning Resources. I'm standing here to represent the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adeniyi Olayanju, who is unavoidably absent, just as earlier mentioned by the registrar. It is a good thing to celebrate a day like this today. The World Read Aloud Day. And what a good news also in commemoration of the birthday anniversary of our mom, Pastor Mrs. Faith Oyedepo, the Vice President, Education, Living Faith Church. It is a great honor to have all the schools represented here today. And I want to also thank our teachers who were able to bring these pupils to this place. I pray that the good Lord and His hand will be upon you in the mighty name of Jesus. Talking about literacy or illiteracy, you know, we live to learn and to unlearn, and that is the basics for real education. These young ones will agree with me. How many of you remember BODMAS? You know BODMAS in mathematics, right? Yes. You know, when we were like them, we were told that BODMAS stands for brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. But of late, we realized that in BODMAS, we are talking about off and multiplication, and off is multiplication. So how are we going to have two same parameters? So it was later proved wrong that that O stands for other, that is raised to power. But I don't know whether they've started using it now. That is the power of reading and learning. So that's why I said we learn and we unlearn, and that is the essence of quality education. Reading is a good culture, which I want these young ones to imbibe. I want to believe that they've been doing it before, and they should continue. As a young child like these ones, I got to know about things and occurrences happening in other folds outside of the shores of Nigeria by virtue of reading. It got to a stage that there's nothing at the time that can, you know, get me out of my skin. I mean, I hardly get scared of anything. And why? By virtue of some materials that I read then. You remember, I don't know whether we still have those books in Gulliver Travels. You remember Salas Mana? I don't know whether they are still using it in school now. Yes, Alice in Wonderland. You remember The Journey of Monimambo? You know, you talk about ogres and dwarfs. And exactly, even in our own contextual platform, we have Irinke Rido, Ogbojuode, Ninu Igbo Irumale. I read those things. And in one way or the other, they added to the beauty of life. So I want to enjoin every one of us that as we progress in this activity today, on behalf of Professor Adeni Yola-Yoju, the Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, I want to welcome you once again, and I want to believe that you are going to have a very fulfilling moment being with this presentation today. I want to believe that this presentation will give us an eye-popping experience, mouth-watering experience, and ear-tingling experience. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. With the permission of the Vice Chancellor, I was speaking with the registrar that the first session of this presentation, if you can endeavor to wait. And she said, let's see what happens. I think there will be a discussion around that. Then the Director Center for Learning Resources and I were discussing earlier on, and I whispered that to the registrar, that the Director Center for Learning Resources said, we know that you are not lying, that you read those books. And if those books are still alive, they're in your father's house. If these books can be donated, and then we can always have children come around to read them. Can we have a word from the registrar?
He actually whispered into my ears, and I said yes, because I know that there was a time I went to, that's my father's house, and I saw some of those books still there. But to donate them to your library, I may not be able to do that, because my children and children's children must also see those books.
Put your hands together for her. That is what we call legacy. She's planning to give it to the next generation, and we shall be custodians also, but we shall discuss the modalities around that later. Put your hands together for the registrar one more time. Then also, we shall be reading one book here today. We shall talk about that later. But we've spoken to our panel of judges, and they've been able to tell these little ones that this is what you're expected to do here today. And I think the children are prepared. Children, are you ready? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. So, as I was saying earlier on, we are ready, and we are ready to read. I want to introduce our panel of judges seated here today. We have the chief panelist that is seated there. It's as if we planned together. He's wearing the same cloth I'm wearing, the same type of cloth I'm wearing. Then Mr. Regbeshola, also, who is also a major planner of this event, is wearing the same thing, and I'm wearing the same thing. And we all left our home differently, not planning this. Please put your hands together for us. So we have this man, he read English first degree and second degree. And so he's qualified to be the chief panelist today. And that is no other person but Mr. Adekoye. Please rise on your feet for recognition. Thank you very much, sir. Then we have other members of the panel seated here from Oasis Nursery Primary School. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Mrs. Oke Temitope from Oasis International School, Omu-Aran.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm from
Landmark University Nursery Primary School. Mrs. Olariwaju.
Please put your hands together for her, and you too, ma'am.
Mrs. Babatunde from SD, 7 Days Adventist.
Put your hands together for her.
Ishola G.A. from St. Paul's School 1.
Please put your hands together for her.
Mrs. Owoyale from St. Paul's School 2.
Put your hands together for them. Thank you very much, ma'am. Our readers are seated here today. We will not call you contestants. You are readers. So relax. You are not contesting. You are reading. And we want to see the beauty of reading here today. And we want to also celebrate all the teachers that are seated. We may not be calling you one after the other, but please celebrate these teachers that are seated here today. And also, I look at that side, I saw we want you to stand up for recognition. I wanted to say sit up. Put your hands together for them, please. We really love you. You're welcome, ma. And then that is the head teacher, Landmark University Nursery and Primary School. we can see that you take this reading as a very important thing to say, I will follow them there. Because our vehicle was taking them. I just saw her taking another vehicle, following us. I said, Kilo Day, we are not taking these children away now. But we really appreciate that. Thank you very much, ma'am. We shall also be looking at these children today. They are great people. There is a proverb that has been coming to my mouth. I've been trying to slap this mouth, but I don't know. You know, Yoruba has what to qualify everything. But Dr. Ashamusa, this is not anything to play with your name, but it is a Yoruba adage that Omotia je Ashamu ati kekere nothing shekini, nothing jenu shamu shamu. That is, if you are going to be very smart, it reflects at tender age. When I was growing up, I did not understand English on time. Maybe when I was 8 years, that was when I was speaking English. But I've been speaking English before I started speaking English. I would just get, we attended public school. I would say, "Idiot of you, are you a frosco of the nonsense of the follicles?" Hey, they will say to Soyibo. I wanted to speak English, but I could not. But I know I must say something. And then I was saying all those things. So if you are not reading well, just be carrying that book and be looking at it. I have a son at home that does that, my last child. He will say, "Daddy, I've read 10 pages today." He has not read anything. He will just be looking at it. So we will be introducing 2 readers, and these people have come to also get challenged when they see what others are doing. And we know that you are taking this back to your school to start competition. The first reader from Landmark University Nursery and Primary School, can we see you? Please introduce yourself.
My name is Zainab Zubar. I'm 11 years old, and I'm here to represent Landmark University School. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for the second reader, please. Where's the second reader?
My name is Divine Akichigu. I'm 10 years old. I'm representing Landmark University Nursery and Primary School.
Thank you very much. Then there's St. Paul Anglican School 2. Is that, who is the first reader?
My name is Babatunde Bose. I'm from St. Paul School. I'm representing St. Paul School. I'm 10 years old.
Thank you very much. The second reader, please.
My name is Bill Rebecca Gitt. I'm from St. Paul School 2. I'm here to represent St. Paul School 2.
Please put your hands together. Then 7th day. Who is the first reader?
My name is Obalulu Atumisha. I'm representing SDA School. 7 days Advanced Teacher.
Please put your hands together for the second reader, please.
My name is Soyebanji Christina. I'm representing SDA School. 7 first reader.
Put your hands together for her. And then from Oasis International School, first reader, please.
My name is Omidiji David. I'm from Oasis International School. I'm 9 years old. I am here to represent Oasis International School.
Please put your hands together. And who is the second reader?
My name is Toyin Fayemi. I am from Oasis International School. I am 10 years old.
Thank you very much. And last but not the least, St. Paul Anglican School 1. Who is the first reader?
My name is Oyinlo Emery. I am 10 years old. I am hereby to represent the St. Paul School 1.
Put your hands together for her. And the second reader, please.
My name is Mugita Lafaydat. I am 10 years old. I am here to represent St. Paul School 1.
Thank you very much. These people are set this morning to dazzle us, and they will be using a book. This book is not in the market. You cannot see it anywhere because it is just written by us. The Library Boy. The Library Boy. That is the title of the book. We want to see how they read. Now, I will just read something, and then you children listen. You must look at punctuation. You look at the, what else? you must be fluent in reading, then you must project, speak loud, and then the punctuation mark, I've mentioned that. Pronunciation, how you pronounce the word, not and the man said, and the man said. So, listen to this. He's gone again, she said to herself as she rose from the bed and started moving towards the living room. She had the click of buttons she has become familiar with. That's her husband typing the story you're about to read. Ayo, or should I call her Yinka? But I don't want to go far. That is the story. We will be inviting you one after the other to read. Our panel of judges have things to look at. Please, Mr. Debisi, wherever you are, we need your presence, please. Mr. Tunde Debisi. So the first reader will be from Seventh-day Adventist. So, please let's welcome the first reader as, is it he or she? She comes forward to read. Put your hands together for her. You can come forward, ma. Or should we bring it to you because this is too high? She can come to the center. So you can face the audience here, or you can just stand, anyone that is convenient for you. We want to see the speed of reading. Okay. Okay, you can carry it. Don't start yet. She will read for just 5 minutes. And you take it gently. And then, after... Okay. Beautiful. You see, the feminine touch has come from the registrar. Okay. You like to stand? It's all right. It's all right. So just relax. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses, all the king's knight could not put Humpty Dumpty together again. You know it? Eh? Oh, can say Peter Peppa pick a peck of prickle pepper, peck of prickle pepper, Peter Peppa pick Peter Peppa pick a peck of prickle pepper with the peck of prickle pepper, Peter Peppa picked. It's for another day. So are you ready? So she will read for 5 minutes. And if she can finish this in 5 minutes, fine. If she can read just one page, fine. If she can want to test the speed and also other things you're looking out for. Are you ready, ma'am? Over to you.
Joy woke up that fateful Saturday morning, giddy with excitement. He has always dreamed of a day like this, the day he would enter of the magnificent edifice of the government's resettlement area, GRA. The houses in CDRA were not owned by ordinary or middle class people. They were especially cited as closer for the rich and the mighty, which is why they were sarcastically referred to as gigantic republic of aristocrats. The houses here had third forces and were guarded by security
passionate of fried dogs. Many times when Joy rode past the GRA vicinity, he had wished he lived in one of these houses, but he tried not as much as lock on the gate for fear of the goat and the dog. I know that one of these days I will enter one of these houses, he will say to himself. So, when Joy heard that Tola was celebrating his 15th birthday, he knew his chance had come. An opportunity he was not going to throw away. Tola stayed with his parents on House 12 Alvey Avenue, GRA. House 12 was indisputably the most beautiful house in GRA, located at the very heart of Alvey Avenue. The iconic glass edifice on House 12 was a striking piece of architectural brilliance. The sheer grace of its placement and design easily makes it the famous price of the house in the GRA. Joy woke up to Tola and break time and requested the description to the house with the oblique. Be my description to his house with a oblique, but be my guest. Tola said with a cynical tone and disdain look. Joy's excitement did not allow him to notice the malice in Tola's tone and look. When John returned home from school, he could not conceal the advertisement written all over town. It was obvious that something good had happened to him. His siblings' first guess was that he had met one of the dad's friends who probably had given him money or promised him something nice. I have been invited for a birthday party at the GRA. He announced with assessment. He was so overjoyed that he did not even hear the comment by one of his siblings.
Where did you stop?
A round of applause for, what's your name? For Tumishe. Let's give her a round of applause again. We are calling on the next reader from Landmark University Nursery and Primary School. The first reader.
Joe woke up that fateful Saturday morning. Giddy.
Let us know your name.
My name is Zainab Zubar. Joe woke up that fateful Saturday morning, giddy with excitement. He has always dreamed of a day like this, The day he would enter one of the magnificent edifices of the government reserved area, that's GRA. The houses in GRA were not owned by ordinary or middle-class people. They were especially seated as a cluster for the rich and the mighty, which is why they were sarcastically referred to a gigantic republic of aristocrats. The houses here had tall fences and were guarded by security personnel or first dog. Many times when Joe walked past the GRA vicinity, he had wished he lived in one of these houses, but dared not as much as knock on the gate for fear of the guard and the dogs. I know that one of these days I will enter one of these houses, he would say to himself. So when Joe heard that Tola was celebrating his 15th birthday, he knew his dance had come, an opportunity he was not going to throw away. Tola stays with his parents on House 12, Harvey Avenue, GRA. House 12 was indisputably the most beautiful house in GRA, located at the very heart of every avenue. The iconic glass edifice on House 12 was a striking piece of architectural brilliance. The sheer grace of its placement and design easily makes in the primus and inter pares of the house in GRA. Joe walked up to Tola at break time and requested the description to his house, which he obliged. By my guest, Tola said with a signal tone and disdained look. Joe's excitement did not allow him to notice the malice in Tola's tone and look. When Joe returned home from school, he could not conceal the excitement writing all over him. It was obvious that something good had happened to him. His siblings' first guess was that he had met on one of their dad's friend, who probably had given him money or promised him something nice. I have been invited for a birthday party at the GRA, he announced with excitement. He was so overjoyed that he did not even hear the comment by one of his siblings. Through his smile, pretending to be listening as he kept ironing the shirt and trouser he would wear to the occasion. When Joe's mother arrived from the market that evening, she noticed Joe was unusually excited, but she could not place where was responsible for it. She did not make any effort to pry because she knew her son would not hide anything from her. True to type. Immediately, his mother settled down. He went to sit by her side. From experience, she knew that he wanted to make a demand. Joe knew that his mom frowns at late requests. Had he known about the party earlier, he would have requested permission at least a week before now. All the same, he went ahead and made his request. Mom, please permit me to attend my friend's birthday tomorrow. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you before now. Any errand you want me to run for you, please tell me now so I can do them as early as possible tomorrow morning. His mother was surprised at the enthusiasm displayed by Joe. Who is this friend of yours whose birthday is so sudden that you are just telling me now? The mother asked. Joe could not explain the situation surrounding the birthday and had to start beating about the bush.
Thank you. A round of applause For Zainab. Thank you. We're moving to the next. Please come. Please come. We're moving to the next reader. Okay, let's call on St. Paul School 1, the first reader. Tell us your name.
My name is Soyinlo Eme. You woke up that fateful Saturday morning, jolly with excitement. He has always dreamed of a day like this day. You would enter one of the merchant areas of the government reverse area, GRA. The houses in the GRA were not owned by ordinary or middle class people. They were especially seated at class teacher for the rich and the might, which is why they were exactly referred to as Clinton Public of Associates. The houses are tall fence and were guarded by sentry personal affairs dogs. Many times when Joe walked past the GRA vicinity, he had wished they lived in one of these houses, but he did not as much as knock on the gate for their face and garden and the dog. I know that one of these days I will enter one of these houses. He would say to himself. So, where Joe at that dollar was celebrating his 15th birthday, I knew his came and had come an opportunity he was not going to throw away. Dollar stays with his parents on houses 12 Harley Evans GRA. Houses 12 was independently the most beautiful fairness. The incoming glass advance on houses 12 was a striking piece of agricultural brilliance. The sheer grace of its placement and design especially make it a promising interprimary of the houses in the GRA. Joe walked up to the dollar at break time and usually by description to his houses, which he obliged. Be my guest, Dollar said, with all circulars, tone and demanded. Look, Joe exclaimed, did you know that allow him to divorce the magnet in Dollar's tomb? And look, when Joe returned home from school, he could not entrust to instrument writing all over him. It was observation that something good had happened to him. His sibling's first guess was that he had met on the dead friends who robbery had given him money to promise him sometimes nice. I have been invited for a birthday party at the DRA, he admitted with exclamation. He was so enraged that he did not even hear the comment by one of the siblings. Trotty smiled promptly to the listening as he kept eyeing the shirt and trousers he would never wear to the occasion. When Joe's mother arrived home from the market that evening, she noticed that Joe was unusually excited, but he could not place what was responsible for it. She did not make any effort to pray because she knew her son would not hear anything from her. True to type, immediately his mother settled down. I went to sit by her side. From experience, she knew that he wanted to make a demand. Joe knew that his mom from the late request and he know about the party. Earlier, he would have request promise at least a week before now. All the same, he went out and made his request. Mom, please permit me to attend my friend's birthday tomorrow. I am sorry that I didn't tell you before now. Any errands you want me to run for, please tell me now so I can do them as early as possible tomorrow morning. His mother was surprised at the entrance displayed by Joe. Was he the friend of yours whose birthday is so widely that you are just telling me now the birthday, as Joe could not explain the situation surrounding the birthday and had to standing before out about the bush. His mother asked him where the friend had lived and Joe.
Let us put our hands together for Oyinloye. Oyinloye, what is your name? Mary. Another round of applause for her. Where did you stop? Joe. Yes. Okay, thank you. We are moving to the next reader. And let me call on the reader from Oasis, Nursery and Primary School. So mention your name, then you start.
My name is Omidiji David. Joe woke up that fifth to Saturday, Monday, greeting with excitement. He was always dreamed of that day like this, the day he would enter one of the magnificent edifices of the government reverse area GRA. The house in the GRA were not owned by ordinary or middle-class people. They were specially seated as cluster for the rich and the mighty, which is why they were satisfactorily referred as a gigantic republic of aristocrats. The house here had all fans and were guarded by security personnel or fenced dogs. Many times when Joe walked past the GRA Vignetic, he had wished he lived in one of these houses, but he had dared not as much as knock on the gates for fear of the guards and the dogs. I know that one of these days I will enter one of these houses, he would say to himself. So when Joe heard that Tola was celebrating his fifth birthday, he knew his chance had come, an opportunity he was not going to throw away. Tola stayed with his parents on House 12, heavily and Avenue GRA. House 12 was indisputable the most beautiful house in GRA, located located at the very heart of every avenue. The iconic glass edifice on House 12 was a striking piece of architectural brilliance. The sheer grace of the placement and design easily makes it famous interface of the house in the GRA. Joe woke up to Tola at break time and requested the description to his house, which he obliged. Being my look, Joe's excitement did not allow him to notice the malice in Tola's tone and look. When Joe returned home from school, he could not conceal the excitement written all over him. It was obvious that something good had happened to him. His sibling's first guess was that he had met one of their dad's friends who probably have given him money or promised him something nice.
A round of applause for Omidiji David. The next reader will be from St. Paul School 2. Let's put our hands together for her. Tell us your name, then we'll start reading. Okay? Let's start from here.
My name is Bill Rebecca Gift. Joe woke up at that fateful Saturday morning, giddying with excitement. He has always dreamt of a day like this, the day he would enter one of the manifest edifices of the government reserved area, GRA. The houses in the GRA were not owned by ordinary or middle classes people. They were specially seated at closer for the rich and the mighty, which is why they were sarcastically referred as gigantic republic of aristocrats. The houses here had tall fences and were guarded by security personnel or fierce dogs. Many times when Joe walked past the GRA vicinity, he had wished he lived in one of these houses, but he dare not as much as knock on the gate for fear of the guards and the dogs. I know that one of these days I will enter one of these houses, he will say to himself. So when Joe heard that Tola was celebrating his 15th birthday, he knew his chance had come, and an opportunity he was not going to throw away. Tola stays with his parents on House 12 Harvey Avenue, GRA. House 12 was indisputably the most beautiful house in GRA, located at the very heart of Heavy Avenue. The iconic glass edifice on House 12 was a sticking piece of architectural brilliance. The sheer grace of its placement and design easily makes it the premier interpret of the house in GRA. Joe walked up to Tola at break time and requested the description to his house, which he obliged. Be my guest, Tola said with a cynical tone and disdained look. Joe's excitement did not allow him to notice malice in Tola's tone and look. When Joe returned from school, he could not conceal the excitement written all over him. It was obvious that something good had happened to him. His siblings' first guess was that he had met one of their dad's friends who probably had given him money or promised him something nice. I have been invited for a birthday party at the GRA, he announced with a nice excitement. He was so overjoyed that he did not even hear the comments by one of his siblings. Though he smiled, pretending to be listening as he kept ironing the shirt and trousers he could wear to the occasion. When Joe's mother arrived from the market that evening, she noticed that Joe was unusually excited, but she could not place what was responsible for it. She did not make any efforts to pray because she knew her son would not hide anything from her. True to type, immediately his mother settled down. He went to sit by her side. From experience, she knew that he